Hi there, my name's Alasdair Kennedy and I'm the Sociable Social Worker, and I give practical advice to social workers, newly qualified social workers and social work students. And in this video I'm going to give you the pros and cons of social work jobs that I've been involved in under 4 minutes. So stay tuned. So when you start practicing as a social worker, it's really hard to figure out, and I've had loads of comments in my YouTube videos, Alasdair, what will I do when I finish? I quite fancy child protection, I quite fancy family support, should I go into adult services? Well, what I'm going to talk about today is child protection and family support, and which one to choose. Now, I always talk about child protection, and you'll see it in my other videos, about doing your tour of duty in child protection, and it gives you that steep learning curve. So what are the pros for child protection? Well, great camaraderie. You're all in it together. You're all suffering together sometimes, because some of the cases that you'll come up against will be quite harrowing, but you work together collaboratively to get each other through. So there's great camaraderie. It's a massive learning curve. As I've said before, you'll get extensive training as well in child protection and safeguarding. You'll end up with really honed communication skills, and you can specialise in different aspects of child protection, and there's loads of toil because you'll be working quite late usually. So what are the cons? Well, it's tiring and it can be really stressful, and it can be a lot of late nights. It can impact on your family life. It did a little bit for mine. Long hours, high turnover of staff and managers. And it's the pay versus the reward versus the stress versus the risk. And the risks are quite high to yourself and to your mental health in a child protection team. However, I take my hat off to people who do 20, 30 years in child protection. I only managed 5 or 6 in child protection, so I always take my hat off to people who have managed to sustain that for most of their career. So what about long-term teams or family support or whatever we call them at the moment? I don't know, there's so many teams and they call them all different names, but basically after child protection you'll have that family support, and you'll be going out and supporting families in the community, maybe even before child protection in those initial stages. So what are the pros to that? Well, you get a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds all working together, and staff retention is usually pretty high, so you always have a great team around you. You can obviously specialise. You could become a practice teacher, you could become a mental health officer, you could become an educator, and you can put all those theories that you gathered at university really into action. So what are the cons of family support? Well, probably slow promotion prospects. Most people, when they go into family support, they stay there for long periods of time, unless you want to move up to service manager or head of service, as I've spoken about in previous videos. That's about the UK. Once you reach the top of your scale in wages, you'll probably stay there as well. There can be a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of lack of vision within the teams. Lack of innovation, people just kind of plodding along. There might be a lot of court work as well, a lot of hanging about, but that's positive though, because you can read a lot, you can listen to music, and you can increase your knowledge when you're working. And there can be a lot of, nowadays there is a lot of managerialism. Too many chefs. I'll leave it at that. So there you have it. What do you think? What job would you like to do? Would you like to do child protection, or would you like to do family support? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a like, will you? And if you want more notifications on future videos, then ring the little bell. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Okay, see you soon.